Phantom of the Opera, West Side Story, Les Miserables, The Greatest Showman, and many more. Mother's Day weekend, May 10th, 11th, and 12th. Phenomenal cast of performers, accompanied by a live orchestra, dramatic sets, stunning costuming, exquisite lighting, and special effects. Tickets available online and at Queen's Hall box office. For more information, call 493-4308. See social media for details. Brian McFarlane's Spectacular Broadway.
Well, I know where I'm going to be this weekend, as you can tell. I mean, absolutely spectacular. And it makes sense. It's Spectacular Broadway, May 10th to 12th at Queen's Hall. And joining us in studio is none other than Brian McFarlane.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Good morning, Brian. This is so exciting.
It is.
You know, just taking a look at just those snippets, I can only imagine how much work has gone into this. Can we talk about that for a moment, Brian?
Yeah, well, actually, productions like this, we would start roughly 7 months in advance. The rehearsals are quite intense. We rehearse twice a week, 3-4 hours at a time. And now we are rehearsing even more. And, you know, the energy is just building. We have so much magnificent talent in the youth that we have in Trinidad. And they're all energized. And what is beautiful about this show is it's not just one Broadway show you're coming to see. I have been to basically all of these shows in London and in New York. But there are snippets of 13 Broadway shows, and some that people have seen before, or if you haven't seen, you've definitely heard about them. So The Greatest Showman, Lion King, Phantom of the Opera, West Side Story, Cats, and many more. But you know, some people you speak to, they say, oh, I'm not sure about theater, I don't know if I will enjoy it, it sounds like it might be boring. Let me tell you, when you get in there and you see the show, you are blown away. The level of excitement, special effects, the lighting, the costuming. And anyone can tell you, if you come to a McFarlane show, there's no lulls. One element moves to the next. There's an energy that just keeps building. And the beauty about my shows is there's no intermission. You come, it's an hour and 45 minutes.
Wonderful.
And the energies just keep building all the time, and people just leave in awe. I mean, there was one lady, because we're doing this as a replay, we did it for Father's Day last year, and we've just been, you know, blown away with the amount of people that keep asking us, would you please repeat it? But there was a lady last year that came every single night, actually bought the most expensive ticket, and every night she came, she said she couldn't get enough. It's that good.
I mean, I completely understand. And if that's just a snippet that we saw on our screens, we can only imagine what it's like in person. And this is 3 days, right?
Yes, that's right. It's Friday the 10th, Saturday the 11th, and Sunday the 12th, which is Mother's Day. So it's all happening on Mother's Day weekend. What better gift for your mom?
I know. You know what? I'm giving it away one time, Mommy. You know what's happening this Mother's Day. And you have a chance to win 2 tickets to Spectacular Broadway right now on the Now Morning Show. 622-4010. Give us a call. I hope you've been paying attention, because you're going to have to answer a quick question and you're going to have an absolutely unforgettable evening. Brian, one of the things that you mentioned is all the rehearsals and the dedication that goes into this. How many people are on this cast and team?
The cost for this year for this production is with singers, dancers, it's roughly about 48 to 50 actual cast on stage. Actually, it's more than that because you have the solos. So I would say it's about 55 cast that are on the stage. And in points in time, you have the entire cast on stage. But when you talk about the technical crews and everybody else involved, we're talking well over 100 persons that are involved in the production, bringing it together.
My goodness gracious me. Definitely amazing. And I think Shagwanis is ready to have an amazing experience. Shagwanis, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Are you ready to go to Brian McFarlane's Spectacular Broadway?
Of course I'm ready. Of course I'm ready.
Excellent. So easy question for you. What dates will Spectacular Broadway be at Queen's Hall?
From the 10th to the 12th. So the 10th, 11th, and the 12th.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Is there anybody you'd like to say good morning to, Shagwanis?
Oh, gosh, everybody in Shagwanas, my mom, my sister, everybody. Yes, I'm very happy about it.
Absolutely beautiful. Stay on the line and we'll take your information off the air, and looking forward to seeing you at Spectacular Broadway. Right, so let's get back into this as well. So we would have seen on the screen, of course, your the ad, it's backed by popular demand. Let's talk a bit about the cast. I mean, you mentioned 50, and I know it'd be a lot to go through, 50 plus names, but what about some of those who we're going to see? I mean, when I saw Cats, I was absolutely blown away.
Yes, and the lead in Cats is actually Wendy Shepherd. So there are a lot, and guys, forgive me if I forget your name because it's a lot to remember.
Yeah.
But it's Brendan Prince, who is the lead in Lion King. He's also a lead in Miss Saigon, West Side Story. He's an incredible, incredible actor. He really needs to get out there and be in the international stage. And then there's Christian Mendez, who is actually studying now in Grenada University, but he's coming back in for the show. Very talented guy as well. He's been with us since he's been about 10 years old, and he might be about 16 or 17 now. There is Leandra Head, who is spectacular. She is going to make Trinidad and Tobago very proud in years to come. I just did her show at Stormhouse Castle last weekend.
Yeah.
Phenomenal voice. There's Rosanna Winchester, another incredible voice, Rosanna. Marvin Smith, fabulous guy, fabulous entertainer. Yeah, and yes, this is a great idea. I should be looking at this, of course. And then there's also Patrice Inglesworth, who is phenomenal. We have Michelle Xavier. Everyone knows Michelle Xavier. Incredible voice, fabulous acting skills. Alethea Bihari. People talk about her in every Christmas production I do. Her voice is angelic, blow mind voice. Natalia Dopwell, and she's known for her operatic productions that she does. But this is not opera we are doing, but she has the most incredible acting skills and voice as well. So I think we've basically covered most everybody there.
You know, one of the things also that definitely struck me was the costuming. The costuming looks absolutely sensational. What is the process like for that?
Costumes, well, we have a great team. Ian Smith leads the costume department, and Keston Bentham, who's also going to be acting in Lion King. He does a lot of the bigger structures and so for us. But you know, it's me sitting with them and going through all the fabrics and shopping for the right materials and textures, what's going to look right on stage, because not everything will look proper on stage. So there are a lot of meetings that goes into that, and then doing the prototypes and sampling, and then we get into the actual run of production.
Now, one of the things that you mentioned, Brian, is just the 13 snippets that we're going to experience, and some of the names that you've called, Miss Saigon, Cats particularly, very dear to my heart. How did you get to that space to be able to choose these 13? What's the process like? Is it you yourself? Is it a team? How do you work through it?
It's me, myself, and I think it's the memories over the years. I mean, I have been attending Broadway since my last teens. I've always had an interest in theatre, and anytime I was able to make it to New York or to London, I'd make sure I get to Broadway shows, whatever was available at the time. And as I said, I've been to basically most of these productions. So they all are very dear to my heart. And they all have tremendous strong points. So that's what we have done. We've pulled on the really strong points of each one. So as that production you saw there with Wendy Shepherd singing Memory, I mean, everybody knows that song. And her, I mean, people leave this production teary-eyed just because the emotion is so powerful in the production. And it's a feeling of everything coming together. It's the movement, it's the theatrics, it's the voices, it's the lighting, it's the costuming, it's the whole set. And when you combine all of these things, it's magic.
Yeah.
It literally is magic. And people leave there saying, my God, I feel like, you know, just transported. I forget all the worries and all the problems that we have in Trinidad and Tobago. And I just feel that I'm transported into a different space.
Yeah.
And I think that's why so many people want to come back or want to see it again, because it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Now, we've spoken about the people and how they walk away feeling, but what about you? How do you feel when these events take place?
This period all building up is stressful.
Yeah.
Although each one is successful in the sense that we have packed, the audiences are full. We literally have sold out audiences for the shows. And we have, we have great sponsors that come aboard, and the fabulous giveaways at the lobby and so forth. And all of that goes well, but there's still, I guess it's for me, it's me going on stage in a sense of getting ready for it. There's that nervousness, and there's always that nervousness. I guess if there wasn't, then things wouldn't be going as they should. But at the end of it, because the entire cast, including myself, will come out in the lobby and meet all the patrons when they're leaving. And the feeling is great, because when you hear the compliments, I mean, everybody wants to come up. There are lines of people trying to just shake my hand, give me a kiss, and just tell me how spectacular it was.
And
that's a great feeling.
I can only imagine, and it's part of the magic too.
It is.
And it makes such a difference, you know, when you've been there, you've sat down, you've really just been transported to another world, to another time, another decade.
Immersed,
Yeah, absolutely. And then you come out and you're able to interact and meet such amazing people like yourself who are so talented and so willing to also invest.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we see, again, going back to the fact this is spectacular Broadway, is that, you know, with time, some may say that we don't necessarily have that investment in some of the older classic musicals. How important is it to you to keep that going in the Caribbean?
I think it's very important because we are very much, I would say, an international audience. We are well versed. Many of our people travel. I mean, you come off when you fly from New York or Miami, you see the flights are packed. We travel. We know what's happening out there, and sometimes we can't always get to those places to see productions like this. So, you know, as I was saying, it's not just one you're seeing, it's snippets of 13. And by far, you know, studying the production leading into it, I would go online many nights after coming home from rehearsals, and I will zoom into faces online. Simple choir member, simple person doing up cast. And I compare with the person who's doing that role in our show. And we are so there internationally, our standard, our level of creativity and understanding theatre, we take it for granted, but it's exceptionally high. I mean, Lion King's people come to Trinidad many times to cast for their shows. Many of our people are in productions in Broadway, in London and in New York. And that's because we are so good, our movement, our rhythm, our voices, our acting. So what you're coming to see is very much of an international standard, very much. We are on par. Many people leave the show at Queen's Hall, come to me who have traveled, who are well versed, who know these shows and say, McFarlane, let me tell you something. I have been on the West End. I have seen these productions. This is on par and in many ways above what I have seen internationally. And we take it for granted. You need to come out and experience this production.
Definitely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think on behalf of all theatre lovers, thank you so much for bringing it to our shores.
It's a joy.
It is, you see, it's a joy, that is for sure. Joy and magic. I think two words that really resonate with Brian McFarlane Theatre Productions. And as you mentioned, an international standard. For those of you who didn't know, international standard with really an incredible price, 300, 400 and 500.
Depending where you choose to sit, because the seats are all numbered. You could choose your seat, $300, $400 and $500.
Absolutely amazing. Well, Brian, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to your production for Mother's Day weekend and hoping we can have you back on the show soon.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Brian McFarlane's Spectacular Broadway is happening Mother's Day weekend, May 10th to 12th at Queen's Hall. You do not want to miss this phenomenal experience, so make sure that you go on down and check it out. Stay tuned because there's more to check out on this Friday edition of the Now Morning Show.